we sit here today and we're going to talk about the particulars. Now, obviously, the lack of a running game stands out neon, blinking neon. Sanders, 2 rushes. I mean, that was almost silly not to run the ball the way he did. Now, do I think the game got away from him? Young coach, and the whole thing was the game gets out of hand. He starts to panic a little bit. I saw all that. And I think they got away from the run and establishing any semblance of a run game. Now, they did do a lot of RPOs, and part of that's quarterback bringing the ball back and throwing it. Because, look, again, if you're going to play the Eagles, how would you defend them? And the way Dallas defended them is exactly how I would defend them, which is you got to crowd the line of scrimmage, and that doesn't mean you don't run the ball like you didn't do, but chances are you're probably not going to have a ton of success. You got to do it just to keep defenses a little honest and, get a little more balance. But until Hurts shows you he can go down the field, you're going to see teams in a box. Look, they're jumping every route. You can see it. I mean, that's the real problem with the offense. It's sin, man. Again, we all love Jalen, and we all root for him. But that was one of the worst games I've ever seen a quarterback play. I mean, that was borderline Mike McMahon. That was one of these. That was Ben DiNucci. I mean, that was bad. Because let's look at it. He can't throw from the pocket. His touch was now usually has some touch, right? But he's got no fire, man. He's got a cap gun, and that's a huge problem, particularly when you're under duress. Particularly when you got a team that's on your heels, like they're coming at you, and your O-line's already banged up. And quite frankly, I thought the O-line wasn't as bad. I thought it was going to be worse. But he bailed every play, staring down receivers. It was just ugly. He didn't go through his progressions. Flushed out, bouncing everything out. I mean, you can't have an offense like when the quarterback's like that. And then I thought the coach was, completely, he was sweating it. And he was swimming last night. You could see that he was swimming last night. And the penalties are on the coaching staff. You can't lead the league in penalties. I mean, that's part of the guys not playing the preseason and the whole thing. Bad penalties. The Barnett thing, again, that was another bad penalty. Look, the shame is they're not a good team. We knew that they weren't a good team. The Atlanta game, a lot of people got, sucked in, and I understand that. They look good. And I thought they fared well against the Niners. They're not a good team. Garoppolo was off that day, and that kind of kept them in the game. Defensively, it's a shame because they don't have a ton of playmakers. The Hargrave is playing terrific. But, all they're doing is, and I hate that style of defense, which is let's not give up big plays. Nobody gets behind us. So you're playing with 6 and 7 guys in the box. So what do you think they're going to do? And they got Zeke and Pollard, right? Like they have a running, they have a really good run game. So then it's up to Kellen Moore, in this case, the play caller and the other team, just to take the easy 4 to 6 yards a pop and not get paid. Like what happened with Atlanta, you remember they were having success running the ball. The problem with Atlanta was that's not how they want to play. They want to play by going down the field. And the Eagles, by not playing that too deep zone, they weren't allowing that. And so Atlanta didn't take what was given to them. Dallas did. And then the minute you creep up, they're going to bang you. I mean, That's what happened last night. It's death by 1,000 cuts. You saw it. I mean, both Zeke and Pollard, and you look at Zeke, I mean, he doesn't even look explosive. But he was getting to the second level, right? He was getting to the second level with ease. Why is that? Because you're playing, 6, 7 guys in the box. You're not going to stop anybody. And then, once you do creep up, they bang you. Now, part of it was, you look at that line, right? I thought Dillard was passable. I mean, I thought he would be a disaster. But he was okay. I mean, he's never going to be great, but he wasn't horrible. I thought Dickerson struggled. He looked like a rookie big time. Of course, Sayamala goes out, you had Herbig in there. That's not good. And you look at Micah Parsons, was just a wrecking machine, a wrecking ball, right, all over the place. And, as far as the receivers and the offense, obviously we didn't see any of Sanders. And I love, Quez is a really good receiver, man. He's got great technique. He got really good hands. He catches the ball. Man, the only thing that's scary is Devontae Smith. Because Devontae Smith got manhandled last night. Now, the problem with Devontae is it him or is it the quarterback who's terrible? So that's kind of where you're at there. Reagor just doesn't play big. I mean, it's a shame because that should have been a touchdown, and it was just woefully underthrown because he's trying to be perfect. He's trying to place it, and it was almost like a front rim job where you're wide open and you front rim it. You're short. I mean, that was a lumper throw. It was bad throw. Horrible. And what surprised me was how bad Hurts played. I mean, I don't think he's good. I mean, I've said this numerous times, but I think he protects the ball, and I think he can run your offense. Between that and the play calling, oof. I mean, you had no shot. And I'll be honest with you. I watched the game with cousin Joey, and we're watching the game, and the drive that they score to make it respectable, to kind of get him back in the game a little bit, I guess it was 27-14, that one. Had they not scored a touchdown, I would have went to Minshew. I would have went to Minshew and said, all right, sit down, son. You'll live to fight another day. Let me see if I can get anything going with him. That's where I was at last night. Because I actually want to see if this offense would have run. Now, Hurts had a decent drive. So the minute he makes that drive and orchestrates a touchdown, he stays in the game. But had it been a horrible drive, because remember, the only touchdown to that point was the Fletcher Cox fumble recovery. So it was just a dismal performance by a team that's not good. And here's the thing. We know it's a rebuild. I can't judge. Look, Hurts is a little different because you could see the physical limitations. That's the shame of it. I don't like, obviously, the run, just ignoring the run. I didn't like the defense. But I'm not going to. I can't condemn the whole thing 3 games into it. I mean, that's ridiculous. We understand that this is going to be a slog. It's going to get worse. I mean, the Chiefs are coming off a loss. What do you think they're thinking today? And you got Carolina after that. Down there. Now, I know Matt wants to win that game. And then, you just keep it just keeps coming. Brady. Right? Raiders who are playing well. You got Denver lurking. I mean, it's going to be tough. So it's going to be not going to be pretty. But I think the no expectation thing, which I preached all summer and all preseason, I think this is how we should watch it. And not, freaking, like a lot of people freaking out. And my only question is, what did you expect?